Hey everybody, good morning. I just wanted to come on for a little bit before the city starts getting a little too crazy busy. And I wanted to come on to talk to you guys a little bit about the four Druidic, um, realizations. And so, I don't make this stuff up. This isn't stuff that I make up. This is stuff that I find, and I, kind of try to put it into pieces for you guys, and I think that's really important. So let me begin. I guess the first thing I want to say is my name is Nicholas Decline, founder of the Druid Circle, Druid Order of Blessed Stone and Wood, and Druid University. If you're watching this on Watch Party, or if you're watching this on YouTube, that's okay. It was recorded live. Leave your comments below. So, a couple things I want to say. Number one, when you are realizing that you feel that you are a druid or you've been called to this, one of the things that you realize is some sort of a temporal memory, right? And so what ends up happening is you begin to realize this idea of the fact, oh, I remember that, or I remember that, and oh wow, that happened to me back then. I realized all this, right? All right, and that's one of the major things that you begin to realize that will help you in your journey on this path. And the second thing that I want to talk to you guys about is your idea of self, that you understand that you yourself have this inner power, this inner ability, this inner power, if you will, right? But you also have to understand where that power, where that ability comes from. And hey, Susan. And so that ability comes from something bigger than you, something greater than you, something that is an external force that, if I don't care what you want to call it, but it does exist. And that external force is what connects you to every piece of occult magic that there is. And remember, whenever I use the word occult, I'm speaking about undiscovered knowledge. Whenever I'm speaking about magic, I'm speaking about undiscovered science. And I think that's what makes it magical, and I think that's what makes it beautiful, and I think that it makes it real. The other thing that I think that you may want to realize, and this is something that a lot of people, I think, take for granted, is your relationship with others. And your relationship with others is what really creates a harnessing effect for those for those times where you say, well, wait, how did this happen, or how did that happen? Because you do have the power to move things. You do have the power to create things. You do have the power to connect with others in a very esoteric and deep way. And so I guess if you realize those four things, you're on your way to becoming an incredible druid, for a remarkable druid, an extraordinary druid, for not only you, but for the realm you're in. As I walk here in Philadelphia, my hometown, born and raised, and proud to say that, and I unlike others, I do have a bit of civilism or nationalism, in a sense, because I am proud and happy to be where I'm at. I guess, realmism, if you will. And so this has been a really bad month for filming. We've had, like, especially where I'm at. I'm literally at you can't really see him, but I'm at Billy Penn. I mean, I live right here. You know, it sucks sometimes because, you know, you're an inner city druid, you're an urban druid, right? And then in other times it's like, wow, it's pretty incredible, right? But this has been a really shitty week for Philly. The shootings that have been going on, and all kinds of other stuff, and you got a two-faced district attorney letting everybody out of prison for heinous crimes, and, you know, just releasing everybody into the world. I mean, that was the goal of the goal of our wonderful district attorney. But, you know, it's quite, I guess it's quite, you know, miraculous, if you will, to know that there are people out there every day trying to make sure that the citizens of the city are safe, right? And yet, when these people who, you know, protect and serve are hurt, or anybody in that matter is hurt, there's an opposition that just enjoys seeing happiness in that. If you see happiness in someone else's detriment, I don't care what life it is, because all lives matter, even the unborn. And I think that it's also really impossible to try to conceive that these are individuals, that there are individuals out there who will praise and celebrate someone's harm. So right here in the city, you know, in our city of communism and socialism and sanctuary city here, I want to say that you know, it's crazy that people go ahead and have marches and protests and assemblies, even though it's their right, obviously, but to celebrate and joy when other people are harmed. So there's a certain mindset, right, that breaks those connections I was talking about, that breaks those realizations, those 4 realizations I was talking about earlier. And when you break those realizations, you end up, hey, this is my friend over here. How you doing? What's going on, man?
Oh, no, man. I've been watching you.
You've been watching me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We're live. We're live, brother.
This is a good man right here. Good man.
What's your first name again, man?
Richard.
Daniel.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, this is my friend Richard. He protects and serves the people at City Hall to make sure that
Delaware Park. Make sure everything runs smoothly. But
we're just talking about
for all your intellectual feeding and absorptions that you need. This is the man.
Wait, they don't want to see this. They don't want to. They don't want to see. They don't want to see like they don't want to see.
Listen,
they don't want to see that.
It's 2019. Get over it.
Richard, thanks.
Wait with your loud
I'll
shut.
see you later, man. All right. You know, so that what we do is we end up talking about. I did a reading for Rich. And it was awesome. He was like, wow. Rune readings are awesome if you ever want to mess around with that stuff. Anyway, but just know what you're doing. So what ends up happening is that, you know, there are people that when you begin to break from that sort of, you know, break those connections and break those chains and break those barriers, what ends up happening is that you are destroying yourself in harming others, and not only harming others, but in not wanting to separate yourself with other people because of the color of their skin or the creed that they have. And just right there, we saw that very moment where all of you out there who think I'm a racist and a sexist, and of course I'm not, but you see what ends up happening is when people are losing the fight, they have nothing else to go on. And I was just talking to Richard the other day, and I guess, even Richard himself was called a white nationalist because he lost his race card, and just like I lost my gay card. But they'll take that stuff away from you. But remember, nobody can take away from you. You're still who you are. You're still the loving, caring person you are. You're still the loving, beautiful soul you are. And so as we're building the Druid Circle again, and I'm making lots of connections now, I'm finding that more and more people are becoming wise to the fact that there's a lot of scamming going on. When we start thinking about these 4 Druidic premises of connection, the 4 Druidic connections, and I put these to you just because of what I read, and then I might be able to form sort of a hypothesis from that. I think that you guys would be, best to know that when you break the chain, you end up breaking the bonds with not only, like I said, yourself, your temporal experiences, your connections with others, and the connection with the unseen. Well, it is now morning at this point, and I would say that it's going to get pretty busy here, but one thing I say is this: understand that the essence of those connections all depend on how you are ready to accept that not only you possess a power, but that power that is both external and internal is one: image and likeness. And you can't be image and likeness if you are not evident of that, if you are not exemplary of that. So if we think about these things, and we think about how people react, and how people engage, then I think we pretty much have it. Y'all know my name is Daniel Curcio. If you guys want to log on and see my personal political views, you can see that. Y'all know I'm conservative and a Trump supporter. But one thing I will say is that being a Druid, I sometimes, and being a Druid in this city, and being the unicorn that I am, I guess, it's very wise to understand how unique each and every one of us are. And that's it. I mean, that's it. That's the story. That's the end. I mean, that's the I think I'm losing you guys a little bit. That's the reality. Alright, I'm going to get going, everybody. I hope you all have a good day. I hope you learned something in these few moments of Druidic thought. And I'll talk to you later. Alright? And as always, I would give you a blessing, but I only have one hand. Not that I can't give it to you with two hands, but it's kind of hard. But you're in my thoughts. Also, if anybody is sick out there and you guys need some ritual done, let me know, and I'll go ahead and do that and keep you in my thoughts and prayers. Magic is real. The occult is real. Magic is what I call undiscovered science. Occult is anything that's undiscovered knowledge. It doesn't mean it's dark, and it doesn't mean it's light. It just means that it is. And that these very examples of what I believe in my heart are the essences of living. We must understand that it is what it is. Thank you very much, everybody. I got a jet because they're doing stuff here. Gidawin. Be it thus, but chego para est le mo quis arenit.